Hi my beauty bots, and welcome back to my channel. If you do happen to be new here, what's up? My name is Faith. Also, if you're new or if you've been back and you still haven't, please do me a favor, subscribe, hit that button down below. It's the big red one, you can't miss it. There's also a little play button off to the bottom left-hand corner of this video. You can hit that and subscribe as well. Once you subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know maybe your name, where you're viewing from. I really like to say what's up. And I know my hair is doing all sorts of things today. Look at these crinkles, look at this mess. I ordered a new shampoo and conditioner system to kind of play around and see if that helps. So if you guys have any recommendations to repair hair for very fine hair, let me know. Repair dry, damaged hair. Drop that below as well. Check it out. For today's video, before we do get started, just remember everything that you need is down in the bottom, in the description box. Links to social media content, any kind of resources that we would use today, my website at faithingandellis.com, and any kind of affiliate links. There's a great one for Thrive Market, so if you're looking for non-GMO organic products, they're awesome. You should check them out. There's also an affiliate link for Canva, which is a design software. It's really epic. I use it for about everything. I'm also using them to create my masterclass. So as soon as that's released, I will let you guys know. But if you use the Canva link, you get 30 days free to try Canva Pro, which is amazing. All right, let's jump on into it. So I am going to read this person's experience with dating a serial killer. Now, if y'all recall, at this point, I don't know how far back it was, but a while back, we would have done the dating serial killer dating game story, and I'll link that somewhere up here. I also smell my beautiful pumpkin ginger snap candle that I got from Aldi's. It's a 3-wick. Not 3-wick, 3-wick. Okay, let's go. So this is this person's experience with dating a killer. Serial killer. And it reads, "We met in the autumn of 1990, I wasn't even born, at the closing night of the Classical Joint, a fabled Vancouver cafe." So this took place in Canada. "I was an aspiring freelance journalist and there for the very first time, hoping that a story about the place might inspire an editor to buy my first article. He was circling the room, taking photos with an expensive camera. A short, bandy man with ginger hair. He was clearly well known because he greeted people by name, but also clearly not liked because they turned their heads or made small talk before escaping. At that time, professional cameras were something you rarely saw outside of major cities. I knew that decent quality pictures would make my prospective article more attractive to the editors, so I waved him over. He sat down at my table. I introduced myself as a freelancer who was interested in his photographs of the cafe. He was flattered and mentioned he was a farmer, that he'd had photos published in local newsletters. We arranged to meet a couple of days later after the pictures were developed. He also told me that he had boxes of photographs at his place in the country that I might be interested in. He said we could make a great team. I asked for his number so that he wouldn't ask for mine, and wrote it down in my notebook along with his name, Willie. The minute he walked away, 2 men came over to my table. One, an older gentleman, and asked, "Willie's not taking you home, is he?" I said he wasn't, and he nodded and quietly said, "That's good, because not everyone is nice." The other, a younger man, warned me that Willie's car had no handle on the inside of the passenger door. Willie had removed it. He said sometimes horror stories are real and we need to protect ourselves from monsters. What a very Ted Bundy-like thing for him to do, because Ted Bundy did the same exact thing. I decided to take precautions, but to go ahead and meet Willie anyways. The concept of danger was still theoretical to me. I'd just say no, I thought, and that would be the end of it. We met at a cafe a few days later at around 2 p.m. He was dressed smartly. Clearly, he thought this could be a date. Then I noticed the smell. It wasn't from the farm. When I described it later to the police, I said it was as if metal could rot. He showed me the photographs. There were perhaps 20. Every single one was focused on one or more women. I picked 2. Later I gave these photographs to the police along with my notebook. They never returned one of the pictures, and I still wonder what happened to the woman in it. Willie wanted to discuss more stories on which we could collaborate, but insisted that we do so at his place in the country. We could have a barbecue, he said. He was very persistent. At this point, I knew it was time to go. At 4 p.m., a friend showed up as arranged. She and I went to a diner where we talked about the overkeen, creepy farmer. We thought it was funny. Then she said, "Don't look up," but Willie's circling the building, and we stopped laughing. We paid the bill and waited for a few minutes. When he turned the corner, we ran for the bus. We went miles out of our way and changed buses twice on the way home just to try to lose him. At some point, we started laughing again. This is just what girls did to get away from creeps, right? 14 years later, I was watching the news with my father. A man appeared and I said, "I know him." Just as the news anchor said he'd been arrested on multiple counts of murder, it was Willie. At my father's insistence, I spoke to the police. Later, I learned that Willie had had many women out to his quote-unquote place in the country for a barbecue where he murdered them, ground up their body parts, and served them to unsuspecting friends. He is currently serving 25 years on 6 accounts of second-degree murder. Footage was recently aired in which he admitted he killed as many as 49 women. I don't think about Willie much, but I think about his victims and also about those 2 men in the classical joint. Without their warnings, I might have gone to Willie's farm just to be polite or to pursue a story. Virtually all of the women Willie killed were working in the sex trade, a position that requires workers to enter the cars of strange men without asking too many questions. I not only had the ability to say no, but also the privilege of having been warned twice. Wow. So, we can look at this and say, on one hand, she's right. A lot of times, not just women, but anybody in the sex industry, they're looked over, right? They are easy targets because typically they are estranged from their families. They're easy targets because typically if the law is looking into them, they're not going to look too hard. And that's sad. It's factual, but it's sad, right? And we don't realize the privilege that a lot of us have to say no. We have that choice. Granted, she can argue her story dependent upon her, meeting up with him, but it wouldn't have been her only go at a story, right? But when you think of somebody who is in the sex trade or something of that nature where their livelihood right now is depending upon getting in that car with somebody, we don't have to do that, and we are very privileged to do that. I'm glad she went on her instincts. I'm glad her and her friend that night changed buses multiple times, because what if he would have followed them to wherever they were staying, right? So it's just a lot of things that happened so flawlessly that saved her from being Willie's victim. So take those precautions, guys. Don't be afraid to say no. I always say, she had talked about possibly going to his farm to be polite. Your safety is far more important than etiquette, right? So if you have to be rude to somebody to make yourself feel safe, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Whether it's you know, a bad date or just some random on the street, whatever the case is, I'm all for being polite and kind. But at the same time, if I get a feeling, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling. And if something you're doing is freaking me out, I've always said, if you're doing something that's making me uncomfortable, chances are you know it's making me uncomfortable, and you're either doing it just to be a dick, or you're doing it because there's something deeper in you, like there's something actually evil. Do not be afraid to put yourself and your safety first. And if that means being rude, do it. Do it. I've had so many stories where girls say they've told a person, you're making me uncomfortable, and they just kind of egg it on. Like, it gives them this sick thrill. Do not engage with that. If something makes you uncomfortable, you don't even have to say anything. Just walk away, be a dick, whatever. Whatever you have to do. You guys stay safe, date safe, be safe. And I will catch you guys next time, hopefully with something a little bit more fun, right? Bye.